You're watching Forsaken Joe. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy the story. Let's begin. I woke up before my alarm. No stress, no dread. Just this weird feeling in my chest. Like something good might actually happen for once. My birthday usually slipped by without much noise. A couple texts, maybe a cheap card from my dad, some forced dinner with my sister if she wasn't too swamped. But this year felt different. Name's Nate. I'm 45. I live in San Diego. Camilla had been acting soft the past couple weeks, affectionate even. She bought me this leather jacket out of nowhere. Said it made me look like I actually sleep. That stung a little, but it was a compliment in Camilla speak. She'd been humming around the house, winking, tapping her phone like she was hiding something, but not in the usual shady way. It actually felt exciting. Even Lena, my sister, had called twice this week. She never does that unless something's wrong or she wants money. But this time, she kept saying stuff like, "Hey, don't make any birthday plans, okay?" Dad chimed in too, asked if I had any restaurant reservations. When I said no, he just grunted and told me not to worry about it. Quick note, before we start, how's your day going? And where are you joining from? I actually turned down a bar night with my friend Trey. Said I had something going on, which was only halfway a lie. Because if they were planning something, a party, a dinner, anything, I didn't want to miss it. I was starving for something that felt like effort. That's all I really wanted, just proof I meant something. I spent the morning like I was walking through a daydream, even shaved, used the good cologne I got for myself 2 years ago. Camilla had left a note on the bathroom mirror. Wear something nice, you'll know where to go. It was taped next to the cologne bottle. Around 6 I headed out. Dressed clean, jacket zipped. No one called or texted, but that had to be part of the surprise. I drove downtown to our favorite steakhouse, Morton's on J Street. The valet guy nodded like he knew something. That gave me hope. When I stepped inside, the host smiled and said, "Private room, right this way." Private room, city view, dim lights, booth with name cards, champagne chilling in a bucket with my name on the tag. Everything was perfect. And for the first time in a long time, I believed I wasn't alone. I slipped off my jacket, smiled to myself, and sat down. Let's see what they planned. The waiter came over with a grin like he was in on the secret. "Just you for now?" he asked, glancing at the empty chairs. I nodded. "Yeah, I guess I'm early." "No problem. You want me to pop the champagne now or wait till your party arrives?" "Let's wait," I said. He left, and I sat back, looking around the room. It was perfect. Low lighting, city skyline outside the window. Those clean white linen napkins folded like origami. Even the playlist was on point. Old school soul, nothing too loud. I checked my phone. 6:05. I figured Camilla, Lena, my dad, they were probably parking. Maybe they were all crammed into one car laughing, arguing over who forgot the cake or something. I pictured it clearly. Lena yelling at Tony to slow down, Camilla in the back seat, fixing her lip gloss. 10 minutes, 20. The waiter came back, tried to keep it casual. "Still just you?" "Yeah, probably some traffic." "All right, just let me know." I ordered water, drank it slow, smiled at the host when she peeked in. I didn't want to look like some sad idiot waiting for people who weren't coming. By 6:30, I started scrolling. No new texts, no calls. I opened my calendar just to double check I hadn't mixed something up. Nothing there, just dinner, Camilla. Written in my notes, I called Lena, straight to voicemail, tried Camilla, one ring, then silence. Dad's phone didn't even ring. All right. Maybe they were doing one of those over-the-top surprise things. Maybe they were all waiting in the lobby, timing their entrance. Maybe I was the idiot for thinking they'd be normal for once. 7 o'clock. The waiter walked in, holding the champagne bottle. He tilted his head, almost sympathetic. "Want to open it? Or—" I didn't answer right away. My hand was cold from gripping the glass. My stomach felt like it was flipping over on itself. "Sure," I said. "Go ahead." He popped the cork. It echoed way too loud in that empty room. He poured one glass and stepped back. "Happy birthday, man." I nodded. "Thanks." He left. I stared at the glass, took a sip. Then my phone buzzed. Finally, a video message from Camilla. I pressed play. She was on a beach somewhere. Bright sun, blue water, sunglasses, drink in hand. "Happy birthday, Nate." She said in that sing-song voice she used when she wanted something. The camera panned. There was Lena in a swimsuit, laughing hard at something off camera. My dad was sitting under a cabana, holding a drink, shirt half buttoned, red from the sun. Someone yelled, "To Nate!" And they all raised their glasses and started laughing. Camilla turned back to the camera. "He'll be fine. He always is." That was it. The video ended. I just sat there. Phone still in my hand, glass half full, staring at the table like it was gonna explain something. That wasn't an accident. That wasn't a missed invite or a double booking. That was coordinated. They planned this. The dinner, the message, the silence. I looked at the name cards again, each one written out by hand. Tony, Lena, Camilla, Aiden. My name was in the middle, my jaw locked up. I wasn't confused anymore. I was done pretending this was something it wasn't. They didn't forget me. They left me here on purpose. I didn't leave. I wanted to. Every muscle in my body screamed for the door, but I stayed seated, dead still. If I left, I'd fall apart. Right there on the sidewalk. So, instead, I waved the waiter back. "You got a menu?" I asked, voice dry as hell. He handed one over, didn't ask questions. Just nodded like he knew this wasn't the party I expected. I ordered a ribeye, medium rare, with garlic mash and the Brussels sprouts. Then I filled my glass and took a slow sip. It tasted like nothing. I snapped a photo anyway. Me holding up the glass, fake grin locked in, jacket collar popped. Caption, "Still celebrating." Hit post, let the lie do its job. The steak came out 20 minutes later. Perfect cut. Hot plate. I forced myself to eat it slow, chew like I gave a damn. Kept my eyes on the view so I didn't have to see those empty chairs. Then my phone buzzed. "Yo, that pic was a trap, right? Tell me you're not solo at Morton's on your birthday." It was Desmond Taylor, college roommate, used to call me Nate the Planner because I always had our weekends mapped out. We hadn't talked much in the past year, just quick comments and the occasional like. "Long story," I typed back. "Don't worry about it." He called me immediately. "You good?" he asked. I laughed, but it cracked halfway through. Define good. "Where exactly are you? Still there?" "Yeah, private room." "Stay put." He hung up before I could stop him. 15 minutes later, Des walked in like he owned the place. Hoodie, jeans, windblown hair. He slapped a six-pack of craft beer on the table like it was gold. "You really were solo?" he asked, sliding into the booth. "Apparently. Man, screw that. Happy birthday." Behind him were three people I didn't recognize. One guy in a flannel, two women dressed like they'd just come from work. Des waved them in. "Hope you don't mind. We were grabbing drinks when I saw your post." I blinked. "You serious right now?" He grinned. "What? You thought I was gonna let you eat steak alone on your birthday?" One of the girls, tall, sharp eyes, name was Riley, raised a glass. "To whoever bailed on you, thank you. This view's worth the detour." They all laughed, and something in my chest cracked open. We ordered more food, passed the beer around. The waiter started loosening up once he saw the table fill. He even brought out a free dessert plate with a candle stuck in the whipped cream. I didn't make a wish, just blew it out while Des pounded the table like we were 20 again. Every time I looked around, I saw strangers, but I didn't feel alone. Not once. They asked real questions, listened when I talked. No one checked their phones mid-sentence. No side eyes, no fake chuckles. Somewhere between the second round of whiskey and a messy debate about best Tarantino movies, I laughed. For real. Loud, honest, the kind that makes your ribs hurt. I caught myself leaning back in my chair, smiling without trying. The city lights blurred a little. Probably the booze. Maybe not. I didn't care. By the time we stood to leave, I wasn't thinking about Camilla or Lena or my dad. I was thinking about how lucky I was that Des showed up. He clapped me on the back as we hit the elevator. "You ever want to get the hell out of town?" he said. "You've got options." I nodded. "Might take you up on that." He grinned. "Do it. People like you don't belong in the background." We stepped out into the night. Warm air, quiet street, full stomach. No more pretending. I wasn't surrounded by blood, but I was surrounded by people who showed up. That meant something. I woke up with the sun burning through the blinds, half dressed on my couch, wallet still in my back pocket. My mouth felt like sandpaper, and my head pulsed. But I wasn't hungover in the usual way. My mind was clear. Everything from the night before rushed back. Des showing up, Riley's laugh, that stupid beer toast. It hadn't been perfect, but it had been real. And then the memory of the video hit like a punch to the ribs. Camilla on that beach, Lena cackling like a drunk cartoon, my dad red-faced and useless, glass in hand. He'll be fine. He always is. I sat up and just stared at the floor for a minute. That wasn't a prank. That was a message. I stood, walked to the kitchen, poured coffee that tasted like dirt, and leaned against the counter. That message didn't come out of nowhere. I started thinking back, not just last week or the week before, but months. Camilla always used to sleep on my side of the bed. Somewhere along the line, that stopped. She started going to bed earlier, locking her phone screen quicker, turning her whole body away when I walked in the room. I'd ask her what she was watching, and she'd just say, "Nothing you'd care about." Lena used to be broke all the time. I was her lifeline. Rent money, gas money, little Venmo requests she always promised to get back to me. But lately, she hadn't asked for anything. She was wearing new clothes, going to new restaurants, tagging locations that weren't in town. And my dad, Tony, always called on my birthday morning, every year, like clockwork. This was the first time he hadn't. It wasn't just about that dinner. They'd been pulling away, but not in silence, in sync. Group chats behind my back, inside jokes I was never part of. Glances passed over my head when I walked into a room. I remembered one time, maybe 3 months ago, I came home early from a job site. Lena and Camilla were in the kitchen whispering. As soon as I walked in, Lena's eyes went wide and she laughed way too hard. Camilla said, "Shh, he's home," like I was some overbearing landlord. Back then I let it go, told myself I was imagining things. That's what they counted on. They wanted me to believe I was boring, forgettable, safe. But that video, that was the exclamation point. Camilla had stopped touching me months ago. No small talk, no fights either. Just silence, indifference. She used to hate when I left dishes in the sink. Lately, I could have burned the damn kitchen down and she wouldn't have blinked. This wasn't some sudden joke or wild group decision. It was calculated, cruel. They had time to book flights, pick outfits, schedule spa treatments, but no time to call me, sit me down, say what needed to be said. Because they didn't want to say anything. They wanted me out of the picture, but not until after the money, the favors, the usefulness was drained dry. I set the empty mug in the sink, wiped my hands on a towel, and looked around my kitchen like it belonged to a stranger. This wasn't just betrayal. It was a slow death I hadn't noticed until the burial. And now that I saw it, there was no unseeing it. I didn't shower, didn't change. I walked straight from the kitchen to Camilla's office like a man clocking in for war. Her desktop was still on. The screen lit up as soon as I tapped the mouse. No password prompt. Just open windows, like she'd meant to come back but got distracted. Or like she didn't think I was worth hiding anything from. Top left corner, a folder named Group Getaway. I clicked it. First thing I saw was a PDF. All-inclusive resort itinerary, Cabo. I scanned through the pages. 4 rooms, 7 nights, spa appointments already slotted in. Private charter for a sunset cruise, golf tea times, wine tastings. At the bottom, reservation paid in full, card ending in 1037. That was my card. I minimized it and opened another file, a spreadsheet labeled Shared Costs LOL. Column A, Names. Column B, Who's covering what. Under my name, Nate, it just said Sponsor, with a winking emoji. I stared at that for a full minute. Then I opened her email, not even trying to snoop. I was past guilt, past hesitation. This was mine to see. Search. Cabo. Hundreds of threads. Confirmation emails. Car service receipts. A booking with the same hotel. Under my Marriott points. Search. Group. That's when it really hit. One thread popped up again and again. A group email chain titled Ghost Protocol. I followed the links to a group chat they had, running through Google Chat. She never logged out of it. First message I saw was from Lena. "Nate's gonna cry into his steak." Bet. Camilla replied, "If he even notices, he's dense as hell." Then Aiden chimed in, "Let him enjoy that $300 dinner. Least he can do." Tony added a laughing emoji. I couldn't breathe. My chest was so tight I had to stand up. I paced, then sat again. Clicked into another tab, more receipts. Every charge lined up perfectly. The prepaid massages, the rooftop dinner they were having while I sat alone in that booth, even the scuba class. They used my PayPal account for 2 of the bookings. I hadn't noticed because it was tied to our joint card. They weren't just cruel, they were lazy with it. Bold. Photo logs showed up in the iCloud Share tab. Camilla must have auto-synced her phone. A full album, Cabo Chaos. Pictures of her in that blue bikini I bought her last Christmas. A selfie of Lena mid-margarita, middle finger up. A boomerang of Tony and Aiden jumping into the pool, both yelling something I could hear in my head. One shot showed a group toast with the caption, "To dumb men and easy money." My stomach turned. I clicked through without flinching now. The pain had leveled out. I wasn't shocked anymore, just documenting. Then I found a Dropbox folder I didn't recognize. Inside were tagged receipts going back 6 months. Gas station charges in Bakersfield. Under my name, signed by Lena. Auto shop repair for a Hyundai I didn't own. Tony's car. Paid with my business card. Even a Venmo screenshot where Camilla sent Aiden rent money from our account. That was the final nail. I wasn't just abandoned. I'd been used, milked for everything, down to the damn gas. Every favor, every time I said yes, every time I thought I was helping. They were keeping score behind my back, mocking me for it. I leaned back in the chair and stared at the screen, like it might change if I blinked hard enough. But it didn't. And now I knew exactly what I was dealing with. They didn't rob me by accident. They did it with a smile. I didn't shut the laptop. I just opened a new tab and got to work. First stop, my bank. Logged in, hit, forgot password, set up new credentials. Enabled 2-factor, kicked every device off the login list. I changed the security questions too. Camilla would know the old ones. Then I pulled up our joint checking and savings, closed the overdraft line first, transferred the full balance into a new solo account I opened right then and there. Next, the credit cards. I started with the AMEX, removed her as an authorized user. Same with Lena and Tony. Both of them had ghost cards they only used for emergencies. I called the customer line just to make sure it stuck. "Can I ask why you're removing these users today, sir?" "Because I finally woke up," I said. The woman paused, then said, "Understood." I went down the list, Chase, Discover. The business card Lena used for client lunches. Gone. Then I locked down the PayPal, changed the email, killed the auto-pay link to our shared account. I moved on to the investment portfolio. Vanguard, the account we'd opened together 5 years ago. It had Camilla's name as secondary access. I went through the verification steps, revoked her access, and routed future correspondence to my private email. I didn't yell, I didn't call her, I didn't blast it on socials, I just deleted her. Quiet, cold. Then I opened Excel and created a new sheet. Debts and damage, Camilla and company. Column A, date. Column B, offense. Column C, cost. Column D, action taken. I went line by line. Tony's tires, $247. Lena's fake emergency flight, $371. Camilla's surprise girls trip from last April, $1,400 and change. I wasn't just building a record, I was building the case. This wasn't about justice, it was about control. They thought I'd snap. Go loud, make a scene. But I wasn't giving them that. I wasn't giving them anything. I opened my calendar, marked the day. August 18th, the cut begins. Then I made a note at the bottom of the spreadsheet. Do not argue. Do not explain. Just finish the job. That was the rule now. No more reacting. No more begging to be seen. I wasn't their clown. I wasn't their wallet. I was the one with the keys, and I'd finally remembered how to use them. They thought I was too slow to catch on, too soft to push back. Let them keep thinking that. I wasn't going to yell. I was going to take everything back, in silence. I left the spreadsheet open on my laptop, but I was done for the night. The rest of the damage would get handled during business hours. Monday morning, I walked into my office downtown. Different pace, different Nate. I didn't say much. Just nodded to the receptionist, grabbed a coffee, and kept my head down. Nobody knew what was going on in my house, and I wasn't about to start talking now. Around 10:30, I got the HR ping I'd been waiting on. Internal system flagged a leave request audit, Aiden B. I opened the attached note. Aiden Brooks submitted sick leave through October 3rd. Current location unknown. PTO balance exceeded. HR requests silent partner oversight. I smiled at my screen. Most people didn't know I was part owner of this place. That was the point. I'd kept my name off the front-facing stuff for years, let the other partners deal with day-to-day while I focused on back-end investments. But I still had access, and I still had weight when it counted. I clicked through Aiden's internal file. His official leave request said, family medical emergency. Requested urgent time off with full pay. Attached a doctor's note. Probably forged, honestly. I saved the PDF. Then I opened Instagram. First photo on his feed, shirtless on a beach, holding a giant cocktail. Caption, woke up unemployed. Turns out I'm just on vacation. Second one, group selfie with Camilla, Lena, and Tony. They were standing in front of a resort bar. Camilla was throwing up peace signs like a teenager. Everyone was tagged. What kind of idiot publicly commits HR fraud from a location-tagged beach post? I took screenshots, downloaded the video clip he posted with it, him doing cannonballs into a pool, set it all aside in a locked folder. I wasn't going to HR yet. I wasn't blowing anything up. I was building the file. In the office, people started noticing something was different. I wasn't cracking jokes or killing time in meetings. I was sharp, eyes forward, getting things done faster than usual. One of the junior partners, Rena, caught me in the break room. You all right, Nate? You've been focused. I just smiled. Got some clarity. She raised an eyebrow. Good kind or bad kind? Doesn't matter. Clarity's clarity. She didn't ask again. I went back to my office and pulled up my personal files. Started drafting the first steps of legal separation. Financial first. Clean, precise. I wasn't going to serve Camilla papers yet, but I was setting the ground, quietly transferring anything I could, freezing what I couldn't move without notice. I had a lawyer friend in La Jolla who owed me a favor. I emailed him 3 lines. Need discreet guidance. Not filing yet. Just want to prep. He replied 10 minutes later with a secured intake link. I booked the meeting for Thursday. This wasn't just about revenge. I was cutting ropes, one at a time, before they noticed I was no longer tied down. Aiden was step 1. His cocky little vacation pics would age like milk once HR got the full story. But I wasn't rushing it. I was going to let him settle in, think he got away with it. Let Camilla sip her wine and think I was home sulking. Let Lena flash her new nails, paid for with my gas money. Let Tony play the patriarch, handing out shots while I scrubbed their names off my accounts. I wasn't making threats, I was setting traps. And the best part, they had no clue I was even in the game. The front door opened like nothing happened. I heard Camilla's voice first, then the sound of roller bags thumping over the threshold. Laughter followed. Lena's. Then Tony barking something about the thermostat. Aiden trailing behind, flipping through his phone like a man who didn't have a care in the world. I stayed seated at the dining table, laptop open, stack of printouts to my left, coffee to my right, calm, ready. Camilla came around the corner and stopped when she saw me. Hey babe, you're home early. Never left. Lena walked in behind her and froze. Damn, Nate, you look like you've been up all night. Yeah, I said. Turns out I had a lot to learn. Tony lumbered in next. All right. Let's not make this a thing. It was just a joke. Camilla forced a chuckle. Yeah, we were gonna come back and do something here. Just needed a little break, you know. No hard feelings, right? I didn't say a word, just slid the first envelope across the table. Camilla picked it up, opened it. Her face twitched. What is this? Your access termination letter. Joint accounts closed, cards canceled. Your name's not on the new one. Her mouth opened, but nothing came out. I slid the next one to Lena. Your little expense account is done. You'll have to find your own gas money from now on. Lena snatched the envelope, scanned it fast, then rolled her eyes. Wow, you're seriously mad about that. It was your idea to help. No, I said. It was your idea to lie. Tony stepped forward. Okay, hold on. I don't know what you think you're doing. Your car insurance was under my business account. Not anymore. You've got 30 days before it's flagged. He blinked like I just slapped him. That's messed up. No, I said. What's messed up is sitting in a beach chair laughing about me while I paid the bill. Aiden laughed quietly under his breath, scrolling his phone. I leaned back. HR flagged your leave request, Aiden. His hand froze mid-scroll. Turns out sick leave doesn't cover pool selfies. You'll be hearing from your manager next week. He looked up, panic creeping into his smirk. You talked to someone. I didn't have to. I am someone. Camilla finally spoke, voice sharper now. Okay, Nate, seriously. This is what you've been doing while we were gone. Spying on us. I looked at her, completely flat. No, I was just cleaning house. She stepped closer. You're overreacting. It was one trip. We needed a break. You always say you don't like big celebrations. You mean the part where you mocked me while draining my accounts? Her tone shifted, tried to soften. Nate, come on, you know me. This was just a dumb plan that got out of hand. I pushed a copy of the group chat printout across the table. She didn't even touch it. She sighed. So what? You're gonna throw away everything. Over one bad decision. You threw it away, I said. You just didn't expect me to notice. Lena scoffed from the couch. God, you're acting like you're some victim. You work all the time. You don't even talk to people. I stood. That's rich coming from someone who only calls when her car won't start. Camilla stepped toward me. We can fix this. I shook my head. No, we can't, because I don't trust a damn word any of you say. She looked stunned, like the idea of me actually closing the door had never crossed her mind. You don't mean that, she said. This is just emotion talking. You'll calm down. No, I said. What I won't do is explain myself to people who laughed while I ate alone on my birthday. She swallowed. So what now? You just cut us all off. You're not us anymore. Aiden stepped forward. Man, you're cold. No, I said. I'm just finally done pretending. I looked around at the people I once called family. They were still standing like they belonged here, bags by the door, sunglasses on their heads, smug with sunburns. I pointed toward the hallway. This house isn't your playground anymore. No one moved, so I turned my back and walked upstairs. Didn't slam a door, didn't yell. I didn't have to. I already won. 3 days later, I walked into Camilla's office to grab a USB drive and noticed her Gmail was still open. Top right corner. Little green dot next to her name, like she hadn't bothered logging out. I don't know what pulled me in. Curiosity, spite, or just unfinished business. Either way, I clicked. Search bar. I typed Saul. 56 results popped up. The name meant something. Old boyfriend, maybe? I remembered him showing up in stories before, always labeled as just a friend. The kind of friend she only mentioned when I wasn't listening too close. First thread, finally free. I opened it, Camilla. He didn't even see it coming. I almost felt bad. Saul, told you, he's soft, always was. Camilla, soft but reliable. Funded the whole thing. You should have seen the setup he thought we were walking into. It was sad. My eyes burned. I kept reading anyway. Another thread. A week before the trip. Saul. So I'm good to come. Yeah. No drama. Camilla. You're more welcome than he is. Photos were attached. I clicked through them one by one. Camilla in a hammock wrapped around Saul, her legs over his, her lips on his cheek. A poolside shot of them with drinks in hand mid-laugh. The same damn day I was sitting in a steakhouse, waiting like a fool. There was one photo that punched harder than the rest. The cake. A small white cake with blue frosting. The icing said, R.I.P. Nate's Pride. They were all in the background, mid-toast. I didn't feel rage, not even heartbreak, just a quiet, sinking clarity. This wasn't a betrayal. This was execution. She didn't just leave me behind. She handed out invitations to watch it happen. I picked up my phone and texted my lawyer. Pull the trigger. Full severance. No delays. His reply was instant. Copy. Docs will be ready tomorrow. I spent the next hour closing out every remaining tie. Dropbox, locked. Health insurance, switched to my name only. Life insurance. Beneficiary changed. Security system. New access codes. I checked the last shared app we still had. Our digital photo frame. She'd always uploaded pictures of us. I wiped the entire feed, set one new photo, a black screen with white text. Access revoked. I didn't leave a note. I didn't text her. There was nothing left to say. Whatever version of Camilla I loved was dead long before that trip. I just didn't see the body until now. The last thing I did was close her laptop. It made a little click. Light, final. That was the last door, and I shut it without flinching. 6 months later, I woke up to ocean wind tapping the window and the sound of seagulls arguing over trash. I didn't miss the city. I didn't miss anyone. I'd moved to a small coastal town, 2 hours south of San Diego. Rented a loft above an old bookstore that smelled like dust and paperbacks. The floors creaked. The cabinets were uneven. I loved it. No designer furniture, no wedding portraits, no frame vacation shots. Just clean space, quiet mornings, and a couch I actually like sitting on. I started a nonprofit with Des, Reset Foundation. We helped men restart after getting leveled. Divorce, loss, betrayal, the whole catalog. Some just needed a couch. Others needed lawyers. We gave them both. Des ran the numbers. I handled intake. It worked. That night, we threw a rooftop get-together at a bar 3 blocks from the pier. Simple setup, grilled food, cheap drinks, real friends. The sky was still pink when people started showing up. No fake smiles. No one glancing at the door, waiting for someone more important to walk in. Des clapped a hand on my back. 46, man. Who would have guessed you'd live this long? I'm just now starting, I said. He laughed. You're damn right. At some point, Riley, the sharp-eyed girl from Morton's, walked over with a cake box. Special delivery, she said. From all of us. I opened it. Inside was a white cake shaped like a padlock, blue icing, clean finish. On top, it read, "For the man who finally closed the door." I stared at it for a second, then shook my head, smiling. You're all a bunch of smartasses. We know, Des said, raising his beer. We ate, we drank. We talked about everything but the past. Nobody asked what really happened. Nobody needed to. They knew enough. Later, after most people left, I stayed behind on the rooftop. Just me, the ocean breeze, and a drink that didn't taste like anything but peace. I looked out over the water, no phone in my hand, no one I was waiting on, just the sound of the tide rolling in. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel like I had anything to prove. It wasn't just my birthday. It was my rebirth.